next speaker is Mr. Eric Levine. Eric's been speaking globally for over 30 years as a keynote and featured speaker. Eric's distinguished career in the fitness industry started in 1979, where he has worked with and held ownership in many brands, including the first franchise of Gold's Gym, where he ran the 6 most profitable locations, Ray Wilson Fitness Centers, which he helped grow to 72 locations. He launched California Fitness in Asia, and then sold it to 24-Hour Fitness, where he retained a stake until 24-Hour Fitness later sold for $1.7 billion. Eric then founded Planet Yoga and Vikram Yoga, the 2 studios of its kind, first ever anywhere in the world, first yoga studios. Eric is currently partnered with Revolution Pre-Crafted, a partnership with world boxing legend Manny Pacquiao. The new company is called Hit by Manny and provides a boxing and full body workout in a boutique setting. Eric is also the CEO of Eric Levine Global Fitness Expert, a fitness consulting company specializing in all aspects of the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to bring up Eric to talk about business magic, passion-based profits. I welcome to the stage Eric Levine.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Travis. It took me totally out of my world. Everything I was going to say, I'm thinking about your life. But Travis is a friend of mine. I was on his podcast, and I had a wonderful time. So I have 15 minutes. I'll try to tell you a little bit about my life and some tips that I found help me wherever I was. So go back to 1979, it's January, and I'm on top of the world. I'm a struggling actor, but I finally got my first big role. And it's with Goldie Hawn, Michael Sarrazin, Peter Fonda, and I have a really co-starring role that's going to be shot in Mardi Gras. And we're rehearsing, and I'm just the happiest possible thing. Because all I ever wanted to be was an actor. That's all I really studied for. And I had already spent the money that I was going to get, trust me. And I got called 6 o'clock in the morning by my brother, and he said, "Did you hear that Mardi Gras is canceled?" I said, he's in Montreal, and he's at 9 o'clock. And I said, I went back to sleep. Didn't think twice. Make a long story short, Mardi Gras was canceled. Mardi Gras was canceled, the unions went on strike, and my agent had told me this. I'm on Sunset Boulevard. It had been raining every day that year. It was a cold day in January, standing on the corner of Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood, and still in kind of shock. And the tears are trying to come. They hadn't come quite yet until I heard the sound of a Porsche 930 Turbo, Sunoco Blue, my ultimate dream. And I looked to the left, and it comes right in front of me, and I didn't realize I was standing in front of a huge puddle of mud. And as it slammed me, that's when the tears just started to flow. And I just said, okay, that's it. I gave up. I'm not going to do this. I get it. The universe doesn't want me to be an actor. And I put my head down and I walked, if you know West Hollywood, from Sunset, where Tower Records is, all the way to PCH in the driving range, walked to Venice Beach, California. It took me hours. I left my car wherever it was. I was probably worth about $100. And I lied down on my bed, took my boots off, kept everything else on. I mean, I am as depressed as you could get. And then all of a sudden, I just looked at the ceiling, which was about 5 feet above me. I had this little tiny one studio apartment in Venice. And I said, okay. I get it. I'm not going to be an actor. That's not what you want. Okay. I don't have a plan B. Schwarzenegger said, don't have a plan B. I didn't have a plan B, even before I heard that. Looking at the ceiling, I said, okay, I'll do whatever you want. Show me a sign. Just show me something. morning and still feeling the same way. Walked to Gold's Gym, which was where Arnold Schwarzenegger was, Luther Rigdon, all the monsters. You know, you walked in there with Jurassic. And the women in there were tougher than the guys. There was about 3 or 4 of them. And I'm standing at the front desk, and this beautiful girl walks in and says to me, thinking I work there, would you train me? I'm like, who's this girl talking to? At the time, men and women around the world didn't work out together. Men would be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the Giant Lake Spa. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday would be the other sex. That's it. So she says to me, will you train me? I said, do you see this crowd? Do you really feel like you can fit in here? Look at the ladies here. You know, they're tougher than any guy in here. Does this seem like a group that you want to work out with? She hesitated and she said, yeah, it's kind of culty. It's kind of different. And then being a salesperson, I said, and would your friends come here as well? Sure, my friend would come as well. And the universe just split me in two. And I said to myself, that's it. That's it. I'm going to open up another Gold's Gym. That was the only Gold's Gym in the world. And I'm going to make it for women and men, and we're going to work it together. And this is going to be the next Hard Rock, Harley Davidson, whatever, which now is UFC, and I'll talk about that in a bit. And I'm going to do it. So I went to the owner of Gold's Gym, his name was Pete Winkowski at the time, and I had a few $1,000s in my bank account. And I simply, I'm not going to tell you a funny story about that, because it's being recorded, but unless I promise me you can cut it. Can I cut it?
No, you're live, baby. It's live.
It's live. So anyway, I bought the name Gold's Gym, and I'm Canadian from Montreal, so I took it to Toronto, which I thought would be the next best place. And I didn't have enough money to make it happen, obviously. So before I left, I went to all the equipment manufacturers, and I said, I own the name Gold's Gym for Canada, would you like a showroom? And I ended up getting about $100,000 worth of equipment sent to Toronto. So I'm sitting in Toronto on a wooden crate that was left from the people before me. That's all they left. And I had a telephone, and I put my first ad in the local paper. It was this big, Gold's Gym, you know, and the phone number. And I get there about 5 in the morning, and I'm staring at that phone. Call, someone call, someone call, someone call. And with all my visualization, which I learned earlier, I'll get back to that, I just waited, and at about 6 o'clock, the phone rang.
Yay.
6 o'clock, I had my first appointment. 6:01, and nothing. The phone kept ringing until I was exhausted. To make a long story short, so I was only 24, and I had no business experience whatsoever. I worked at a Geo and Club Med. I thought I was an actor. I was a stripper. I was a waiter. I didn't have any business experience, okay? And it just took off. It grew because I changed the whole thing from Gold's Gym to Gold's Fitness for women and men, and I concentrated marketing for women, because I knew the men would follow. The bodybuilders would come from 100 miles to use the 200-pound dumbbells, focused on the women, built into a 6-club chain, and a couple in California, and I sold it, and thought I was going to retire at 30. And I'll get back to a couple of other things. So knowing how to surrender, okay, I'm a driver, and I don't know how to quit. I don't know. But sometimes we're going against the flow, you know, and you have to look at the subtleties. Is it happening? Is it not going to happen? I've done my best. I'm not saying don't go 200%, but there's a time that you have to reflect on the inside and surrender to the universe. What is the path that you're on? Can it be changed? Should it be changed? So that's what I learned from my Toronto one-on-one experience with Gold's Gym, and it was very, very profitable. There was the first man in the Hall of Fame. His name is Ray Wilson. He's currently still alive. He's 96. He invented the life cycle. He invented the Family Fitness Center. And I had heard about him before I sold my gyms. And somehow we connected, and he became my partner. I became his partner, sorry. And we grew to 72 locations over a couple of years. But the important thing about that is I had, the biggest ego probably in the world. And here's this guy, he was 70 at the time, and he wanted to be my partner, and he said to me, do you want to be a 1-club operator, or do you want to be a 100-club operator? And I knew what he meant, bless him. And to make a long story short, he said, I'll be your mentor under one condition. Again, it's the same thing. Surrendering to his 50 years experience. And he said to me, I'm going to listen to whatever you say, and then I'm going to decide if we're going that way or that way. And that was another milestone in my life, surrendering to someone who I knew was better than me, but would give me the chance to be who I am. And together, well, it's a double knockout. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because there's so many courses online, and I'm a coach, you're a coach, he's a coach, she's a coach, I'm a mentor, I'm an expert, blah, blah, blah. But finding a real mentor, they have to have done what you want to do. If I want biceps, I'm going to go to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Show me what you did.
Yep.
I don't care about someone who's read it in a book and looks good on a graph. There are a lot of people out there that are just simply not qualified. And when you're ready to surrender and you're opening up your vulnerability, your time, your money, that person's got to be right. If you hit it right, you got a great mentor, and us, in our Bellwether group, there's a lot of fabulous people. Look at their resume. Look at their lineage. Who taught them? Who was their master? And do not fall for what's going on the internet where everybody is a certified something or other.
Yep.
Show me your resume. Show me. And then if you're lucky enough, you should be looking for a mentor. Everyone needs one. Whether you had a childhood like we just heard, which was, tears were in my eyes, or you had a great one, you still need a mentor. Because things change on a daily basis. But get a real one, okay? So that's another point I want to bring up. When I was in my business career, and one of the things that Ray Wilson, my mentor, told me when I first joined with him, is talking about self-image and the subconscious mind. He grew up in the cotton fields, had 8 brothers and sisters, and never got out. He had to escape the cotton fields because he could never make enough money to eat. And he was telling me about how he got out of it and how he had to improve his self-image. Because the self-image is in the graves of wrath, he has no money, etc., etc. There are elements of that. And he had a mentor who taught him a little bit about the subconscious mind. Now, we function in the subconscious mind 95% of our day. 95% of our day is subconscious, the other 5% is mostly reuse thoughts that we go over and over and over again. So if that's the truth and that's the case, we better get on the subconscious mind, right? We better start to work on it. So he had a system that we all, everyone that joined our company, we had to make a tape. The time was a cassette tape. Shows you a little bit about how old I am, right? And we had to create this tape in our own voice. Couldn't be, somebody else teaching you in their voice, and your voice. And it had to be an affirmation of exactly what you wanted to be, who you wanted to become. Who was the image that you wish you were? And over and over and over, you played it till you slept. He wanted to hear about it for 99 days. And in fact, the subconscious, who's been hearing, I'm stupid, 1,000 times, the subconscious has to hear 1,001 time, I'm intelligent, I'm smart. It's a counter, it counts. So you've got to repeat and repeat it. Actually, there's no reason to ever stop, because those 5 minutes before you fall asleep at night, it's the most fertile time to make a change in your life. Remember, 95%, right? So, I've watched throughout my life about people's self-image. And with the tape and changing, lifting the ceiling on your self-image, what you think you can and can't do, is so important. I'll tell you a little bit about my Asian voyage in a minute, but during one of my Asian times, I had a manager in one of my clubs in Hong Kong. He was assistant manager, excuse me. And he was great, he was the next in line. To give you for instance, he was making $10,000 US a month. He was only 22 years old, but he was great. Wanted to be a manager. Then I opened up in Singapore, and now there's a space. He's going to be a manager. Went through management training, he was fabulous. Monday morning, he's taking the job, the most successful club in the world. He's going to be a manager, he's 22. He's going to make $20,000 a month from 10. 22 years old. What do you think happened? Anybody?
He didn't show up.
He didn't show up. Didn't show up. Did I talk about this on the podcast?
Maybe.
Who can answer me why he didn't show up?
Fear.
Sorry?
Fear.
Fear, yes. Fear, that's part of it, yes.
You have a bad case of 22?
Unworthiness.
Self-image?
It's unworthiness is the closest thing. His self-image was not that. He didn't see himself being that great at that time, making $20,000 a month, being in charge of this huge #1 fitness center in the world. His self-image was on a great second. I'm going to be helping somebody else. I can't be the leader. And we are our self-image. So I advise you to check that. Check it. Keep checking it, but the way to change that is the best way is the way I described earlier. And throughout my voyage of opening up fitness centers around the world, I've opened up in 20 countries. I've learned about, obviously, cultures and people. Visualization, belief, manifestation is the next level of visualization. So let me give you for instance. So we sell our clubs. I moved to Hong Kong. I don't know anybody, but I have already visualized at this point the perfect location. 40,000 square feet. Nobody had that in Hong Kong. All glass, ground floor, center Hong Kong. And I already smelled the smells. I heard the music. I saw the laughter. I had the money in my bank account. I had visualized it, and it was 100% clear. I flew across the world. I moved there. I'm not doing this for my health. So I'm leaving a landlord he was a master. He could blow cigar smoke, perfect circles, and they hung on my nose. They were just perfect. He was a master cigar smoke blower. To make a long story short, he said, "No, get out of here, kid. You're not renting a place to you. You're nobody." So I left there, my head hung again, not as bad as the other one I told you about, and I walked a different way. And as I walked a different way, I hadn't seen this building before, and they're putting a sign up in the window, and I asked this person next to me, it was in Chinese, what does that say? It says for rent. And then I stepped back at the building. It was my building. It was exactly as I manifested. 4 stories, all glass, open everything, it was perfect, exactly like I manifested. Next, now what? Okay, but nobody. That is, now I have to get into the building. Again, synchronicity and manifestation. I met another person from Canada, from Montreal, where I was born, who knew the owner of that building. He had a restaurant called California right across the street. This is like a magic, it's a dream. And I said to him, what are you going to do? He said, I'm going to open a fitness center. He says, in Asia, no one's going to work out. Women won't work out. Chinese women won't work out in front of a Chinese man, whatever. And blah, blah, blah. And I said, that's the perfect building. I hear what you're saying, Alan, and I'm going to do it anyway. I'm here. I'm already here. This is it. Done. Blah, blah, blah. So he sounded pretty convinced. I'll call him. He called him over. So this is all within 45 minutes of the cigar smoke rings. Now I'm meeting the landlord of this gorgeous killer building. He comes to me, so I hear your friend Alan. Well, he's helping me and blah, blah. He says, you want to rent my building? I said, oh, that would be wonderful. He says, $250,000 US a month. That's the rent. And, because I don't know you, 6 months deposit and first and last month. And me, being pretty good at sales, I just bid my lip as hard as I could. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. No, but I'm shocked. To make a long story short, and I had a lot of other things to do, I could ramble. I turned that first location. In my third year, I made $100 million in sales, $39 million in profit, and opened up in 9 countries in Asia, and it was the most successful fitness centers in the whole world. And it came from passion. I'm a passionate leader. And I'm also not a dictator, but I don't really believe too much in a lot of the new leadership styles I'm hearing about. Again, they're coming from academics. Someone wants to teach you about leadership. Show me. Show me what you did. Show me how much money you made. And show me your students. Show me what are they doing now? The people that you supposedly led. And a lot of the biggest speakers have no business experience whatsoever. Be careful who you're listening to. Choose the people who have done what you want to accomplish yourself and follow them. And my students are now the biggest CEOs, not just in the fitness center, the fitness world, in all types of businesses around the world. At least 3 of them are worth well over $100 million, all starting from nothing. Personal training, sales, whatever it is. So I'm so proud of them. I'm going to finish with one success story, okay? So I'm in Korea, tough town. Korea's a tough town. I'm talking South Korea. And I'm talking to PhD students about the business of fitness. We just opened up in SoCal, and it was brand new. And this, for PhD students and master's students, and this girl comes up to me, speaks English very well, but she's like Rain Man. She's got some sort of psychological problem. She can't look at me, she can't talk to me. She's cute and whatever, and she was so poor her toes were going through her shoes on the side, not as, supposed to. And she said to me, I need a job. Oh, okay, well, how come you're here? You look so young. How old are you? She said, I'm 18. So how did you get your master's degree? She said, good student. And in Korea, if you're a good student, they'll keep putting you ahead. Okay. She's like, my life is a disaster. My mother's sick in the hospital. My father sells fruit. And last year, he made $2,000, $3,000. We can't afford it. I live in a box, no windows, no water, no nothing. And I need a job. Her name was Rob. He said, okay, Rob. I don't know, sometimes you meet people in life and as a human being, you gotta do something, give back. You got that list, and I said, I'm gonna help this person. I'm gonna help her. And I said, okay, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mentor you myself. And I'm gonna make a big, hairy, audacious goal. And I'm gonna tell everyone, we had 460 175 locations at the time, all over the world. We had 4 million members, 1 billion revenue. It's a huge company. And I saw the names of every salesperson every day if I wanted to. So I said, come to my hotel, I'm going to teach you for a week. 1 week straight, I gave her every trick I could think of. I gave her everything. She was a great student naturally. She remembered everything I said, okay? And her, as I mentioned, her name was Ron. I gave one of my assistants, I don't know, $500. I said, fix her up. Her hair was all different stuff, and can you please make her more presentable, okay? So she goes into the workforce. I said, hey, Rob, I made an example. I mean, everybody's looking at your name, and you got to make me look good, Rob, okay? So the first day, I looked anxious, nothing. Second day, nothing. A week goes by, and she hasn't sold anything. You know, I mean, we probably had about 8,000 sales staff at the time, maybe 25,000 staff. And I'm so disappointed. I don't know what went wrong, because when we played act, she was the master. I didn't call her up, and I said, hello, can I speak to Rob? Just, hey Eric, how you doing? I said, no, can I speak to Rob? She said, it is Rob. I said, oh, wow, you know, she sounded like a Las Vegas, she was performing in Las Vegas. I said, hey, this is the greatest thing that saved my life. I said, oh, that's great to hear, but you're not doing so good. She said, I'm not doing so good. I'm going to try harder. I said, yeah, trying harder, but you haven't made a sale in the whole week. She said, oh, I forgot to tell you. My nickname is Juliet. I'm 5th in the company. And that first month, she made $12,000 commission. Little tiny Korean girl, which is 6 times more than her father made the whole year. She went on to be the greatest person. She was #1 in the company month. She was promoted to assistant manager. She was promoted to manager in Kansas, Korea 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. Small little girl, bossing around, big, strong man, 85,000 square foot location. She came to me about 2.5 years later, and her Dean Witter account had $900,000 in it. And she showed me how many people she had helped with her charities that she belonged to. She was a very religious person, and how much she would donate. And then she went on to manage all of Thailand. She got married, she had a daughter, and she just won my favorite stories. So just, you know, give somebody a chance, or if that somebody's you give you a chance, right? And passion, believe, go for it, go 200%. I always did, and never had a plan B, and I hope something I said sparked something in you, but you can do it too. So thanks for listening. Thank you.
BowmanDigitalMedia.com